Good morning, Britain. US President Joe Biden warns NATO will respond if the Kremlin resorts to using chemical weapons in Ukraine. Contest, go all the way. I think this is that matching up process that people are effectively saying, well, you know, if you want to offer to take people in, that's fine, but you have to find the people to take in when there's so much feeling here from people that they want to help. And yet it seems that the government aren't listening.
But that's too random.
Easily do something about this, and actually people would think, great, they're taking control, they're making it happen, we're helping these people, we're doing something. Yeah, and it's still that it's, you know, people's safety is protected and everything. Absolutely. We'll put this to Grant Shapps later on. Also, obviously, on a lot of the front pages of the newspapers today, Joe Biden's warning to if chemical weapons are used. We don't know what that response is.
No, nor should we.
And it's so hard.
If you spend more on
to rise, and when you look at sort of everyone was touting him as it's going to get worse from now on, isn't it? Quite rapidly.
It's been worse, like even.
Good morning. It's just gone 6 o'clock. Welcome to the programme. Goodness me, Charlotte Hawkins, those goals scored by Gareth Bale last night. I can imagine you were beside you.
Deserves a mention, doesn't it? I think it's the kind of good news we need at the moment. Good news for Wales. And having seen Gareth Bale in action there,
it was one of those incredible moments where he stepped up to take the free kick. And there's so much pressure on him, and he's not been playing much for his club side, of course, all sorts of issues with that. And then he just does what he has done over and over again for Wales. Did you watch it, Richard? Were you...
I wasn't watching it last night, but I was invested in...
...play either Scotland or Ukraine in the other playoff.
See, I was watching because Boris Johnson was questioned about this, about whether Ukraine should be getting a free pass in the World Cup. And it didn't maybe quite go as he'd planned it. Shall we take a look and see what happened?
It was then explained to him that they're playing Scotland.
About the Scotland fact, so he was a little bit embarrassed.
Yeah, that became even more apparent that football's not necessarily his field of expertise. But the interesting thing there, of course, is they've delayed their playoff because of what's going on. From my perspective, I think that the Ukrainians, because Yarmolenko, the captain, plays for West Ham, and we've seen how courageously the Ukrainians are responding, they will want to play that game and they'll want the best Scottish side to go out. They'll want to go and make that as competitive as possibly can be, as the Scots will as well. And whoever then wins that will then play Wales, and one of those remaining teams will make it through to the World Cup. And as you say, the first time it could be for Wales in 58 years. It would be huge for Scotland. It would be absolutely huge for Ukraine as well.
I just kind of think, you know, Ukraine should be afforded anything and everything this year. I want them to win the Eurovision year for them. You know?
Well, you know, as a football, those Ukrainian footballers will want to win fair and square. They won't want to be given a bye. They will want to prove that they have sort of the class to get past Scotland and then to get past Wales, which, by the way, getting past both those teams will be very, very difficult, regardless.
We'll wait and see what happens.
But just, you know, just a really fabulous bit of a footballing class from Wales and Gareth Bale yesterday.
It is indeed. Well, listen, talking of Ukraine, it is leading our news this morning because our top story is that President Biden has warned NATO would respond if Putin resorts to using chemical weapons, as he's declared that NATO has never been more united. When it comes to Boris Johnson, says he's not optimistic that Putin wants peace.
Yeah, let's speak to our correspondent.
I'll tell you, someone else who'd have a view on that is your mate, Cammy, Chris Kamara, who we're speaking to later on the show, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to coming in.
He would have said,
unbelievable. You could see him doing it, can't you? Very excited that Cammy's going to be joining us. I'll tell you what else was unbelievable. That was the weather that Laura gave us yesterday.
Glorious.
As was the rhododendron bush. I'm being very careful this morning, having got